Shalom, shalom. This week's parsha is Parshat Mishpatim, which deals with a lot of civil laws given to the Jewish nation after the Ten Commandments had been given in Parshat Yitro. And my reading this week's parsha was really heavily influenced from my Dvar Torah that I did last week on honoring one's parents. And I had a response from somebody who said, well, how are they supposed to do that? They grew up with an abusive upbringing, abusive parenting. And I want to make it clear that in no way was my Dvar Torah addressing, God forbid, people who are abused or seriously neglected, or I'm talking about what a normal person with normal parenting, how they should act. And interestingly enough, that we get to the next parsha here in Mishpatim, and we have another two laws that talk about parents. And the first one says, "One who strikes his father and his mother surely shall be put to death." And there's another pasuk that's not about parents. And right after that, it says, "One who curses his father and mother shall surely be put to death." Now, interjected in these two verses having to do with mother and father is one who kidnaps a man and sells him, and he was found to have been in his power, shall surely be put to death. Now, this is very curious to me. I was really thinking about this because it seemingly has nothing to do with parents kidnapping a person. What does it have to do? Why are they putting it in between? If it's in between in the Torah, there is a reason. There is something for us to learn that connects both of those psukim versus having to do with parents. And so I really meditated on it, thought about it, and tried to come up with an answer. And something hit me. And it's on a metaphorical level, not literal by any means, but it works for me, and I thought I would share it with you. Now, when it says that somebody stole somebody and sold him, I was thinking that this can have to do with identity. You know, we have to remember, I spoke about children a lot of times saying that they didn't want to be born, they didn't want their parents, why they born to these people, and they feel that they don't connect and they don't identify, and it's hard for them. But what they have to remember, we as children have to remember as well, that even more so from a parental perspective, a child is a part of them. A child is something that parents perceive as their continuation, as their legacy, as their future. And they also have hopes and dreams and desires and that they had in you. And you know what? They didn't ask for you with your own, you know, ideas either. So now I do think it's really important for people to actualize their authentic self, to be true to your essence. We all have a purpose, and sometimes our parents aren't in tune with that. And that is okay. We have to do that. That is our job in life, to be who we are, to get our message and our story across. But this talks about hijacking a person. There's sometimes a child will defiantly, and I say child of any age, okay, defiantly hijack who they are, go against their essence, go against what they feel genetically pulled to, and just even that's what they would want to do, and that is what they believe and feel. But they do it as what we call a dafka. They're angry at their parents for something. And so they rebel and they hijack their true essence, and they take that away from their parents, to speak, maybe as a hurting tool or whatever. And that is extremely painful for parents. That is something that hurts them to the depths of their being. And I think that that's what it's talking about. And I think when it says was found to be in the power of his hands, it uses those words. It was found in it was within his power to do differently. Meaning, you know, he did this willingly with intention, not somebody who it doesn't mean to hurt their parents. They are being who they're being, and the outcome ends up hurting other people. But it wasn't intent. It wasn't done, as this is hijacking event within his power. He was just doing what he could to that person who was doing what they can to live, to be themselves, is a different story. I'm talking about these very specific cases where children rebel against the wants and wishes and desires of their parents, um, with intention, within their power, within their hands. They had an ability to do otherwise. And this also touches upon when they talk about abuse or neglect or serious cases. That is not within a person's power. That is definitely without their power. They were powerless in that situation, and they need to do what they need to do to be safe and to be healthy, for sure. Um, but being both a parent and a child, I know that it's a very complex situation, but that we have to learn sensitivity when we're a child. It's always more painful for a parent. I think the hurt from a child than the other way around. Um, when there's a disconnect, when there's a disconnect to them where they don't want to be have anything to do with them or be anything like them, the hurt is just immense, and it really takes away, it kills a piece of a parent. And that there should be a sensitivity to that not everybody can show and express their feelings. Not all parents are good at communication, and people should keep that in mind, and have a sensitivity to what they go through, what was their upbringing, you know, what this they're a person also. The parents are people also with their own baggage and their own things, and to be sensitive to that, and not to keep these cycles of hurt going. It takes work and it's hard, but something that has to be done. And I think that's the connecting. I think the connecting is to taking, the first one talks about striking, and the other one talks about curse. I mean, what could be a bigger blow or a bigger curse to a parent than a child who intentionally goes out to hurt them by being different? I can't. I can't think of anything. So that's how I connect it metaphorically. And I hope that my message is taken as it is meant to be. I think I explained that I never ever mean that somebody shouldn't be their authentic self. We should, but to do it in a sensitive, kind manner, best we can. And with that, I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom.